Episode 8 of Dexter Resurrection just brought back one of the most iconic characters from the original series, Joey Quinn. At first, it feels like simple fan service, but what if I told you his return is setting up something way bigger? Maybe even the endgame of this season and the setup for the next. Today, I'll break down a theory no one's talking about, that Joey Quinn could actually become Dexter's biggest threat yet, and why it makes more sense than you think. When Joey Quinn finally reappears in Dexter Resurrection, it's not just a nostalgic callback for longtime fans. It's a signal that his role in this new era could be bigger than anyone expected. His first return comes in episode 3, Backseat Driver, where we see him alongside Angel Batista and Vince Masuka in a Miami bar. The scene starts lighthearted, with Quinn showing genuine agitation at Batista's sudden retirement. His reaction, half hurt, half annoyed, reminds us of his deeply loyal but often hot-headed nature. Quinn presses Batista on why he hasn't told, throwing out sarcastic suggestions like opening a restaurant, writing a novel, or even starting a podcast. It's vintage Quinn, skeptical, a little sharp around the edges, but ultimately driven by his care for the people around him. When Batista cuts off the speculation with his cryptic, "You ever have that one thing you just can't let go" line, Quinn shows a rare vulnerable side, referencing his tragic relationship with Nadia. That brief callback to one of the most emotional arcs of his character, his attempt to save a woman trapped in a dark world, instantly grounds him in the continuity of the original series, and shows that those scars still shape him a decade later. Fast forward to episode 8, the kill room where it happens, and Quinn's presence feels even more significant. We find him not at a bar, not reminiscing about the past, but standing at a Miami crime scene. Only now, he's no longer Detective Quinn. He introduces himself as Lieutenant Joey Quinn, a promotion that immediately turns heads. This single reveal says everything about how far he's come since Dexter vanished from Miami. Fans who remember season 8 will recall Quinn's bitter disappointment after working hard for promotion, only to see Angie Miller elevated instead thanks to Matthew's politics. For years, viewers wondered whether Quinn ever truly advanced in his career, and Resurrection finally confirms it. Quinn has climbed the ladder, first to sergeant, then ultimately to lieutenant, the very rank once held by Maria LaGuerta. Now he commands respect, carries authority, and has the kind of influence in Miami Metro that he never quite reached during the original run. But Quinn's reappearance isn't just about a shiny new title, it's a deliberate plot device. While on the scene, he receives a phone call from Detective Claudette Wallace, asking about the bayharborbutcher case. Quinn, clearly blindsided, is shocked to hear Batista is actively investigating in New York. His reaction isn't brushed off as background noise. Instead, it positions him as a potential link between Batista's solo mission and the broader Miami Metro landscape. If Batista is closing in on Dexter's past, and if anything were to happen to him in the process, Quinn now becomes one of the few people with enough knowledge and proximity to carry the investigation forward. That single phone call sets the stage for him to matter again, not as comic relief or side character, but as a legitimate force in the unfolding story. It's also worth noting how Resurrection chose to bring him back. Desmond Harrington filmed this scene not in Miami, but in New York, with the production team going out of their way to transform the block into a convincing South Florida setting. That detail alone suggests his return wasn't just a lazy cameo. It was carefully planned, crafted to feel authentic, and designed to spark fan discussion. Add to this his renewed popularity online, memes, fan theories, and revived appreciation for Harrington's work, and it's clear Quinn's presence is more relevant now than ever. But there is one big question hanging over fans. Is this all we're going to get, or is Quinn being quietly positioned for a bigger role in season 2? With his history investigating Dexter, his close ties to Batista, and now his promotion to lieutenant, it's hard to imagine Resurrection pulling him back into the spotlight just for fan service. If anything, the writers seem to be planting seeds that Quinn might be one of the people to pick up Batista's trail, or worse, become Dexter's next true enemy. After all, some fans have long speculated Quinn knew more about Dexter than he ever admitted, possibly as far back as season 5, when his suspicions were at their peak. Whether he ignored the truth out of loyalty, fear, or pragmatism, Resurrection may finally force him to face what he once looked away from. If Batista were ever to be killed or worse, framed and imprisoned by Dexter, then the torch of his mission would almost certainly pass to Joey Quinn, and that possibility is far more terrifying than many fans realize. Unlike Masuka, who brings comic relief, or even Batista, whose heart often softens his judgment, Quinn has always carried a harsher edge. He's the kind of cop who doesn't let go once he has his teeth sunk into something, and if he came to believe Batista was taken out because of what he knew about Dexter, that determination would only harden. Imagine Quinn arriving in New York, stepping into Batista's shoes not as a reluctant replacement, but as a man with a personal vendetta to finish what his former captain started. His personality makes him uniquely suited for that role. He's abrasive, confrontational, and not afraid to step outside the lines if it means catching the person he knows is guilty. Fans often forget just how close Quinn once came to figuring out Dexter's secret. Back in season 5 of the original series, Quinn had strong suspicions that Dexter was connected to Lydia's death. He noticed the strange hours, the missing files, and the quiet way things never added up around Dexter Morgan. While others brushed it off, Quinn kept pushing, hard enough that he nearly crossed the line in his pursuit. The only reason he didn't uncover the truth then was circumstance, timing, and perhaps even his complicated loyalty to Deborah. But those instincts haven't gone away, and if Resurrection positions him as the one to pick up Batista's investigation, he won't be approaching it as the same man he was a decade ago. This is Quinn with more rank, more authority, and a sharpened sense of justice. What makes Quinn especially dangerous is his uncompromising mindset about people who break the law. Batista has always been a moral compass, but his compassion can sometimes cloud his judgment, making him more prone to hesitation. Quinn, on the other hand, operates with a colder, tougher edge. He's not one to get lost in sympathy. When he sees someone crossing a line, his instinct is to push back hard. And if he begins to piece together the truth that Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher all along, that relentless streak could transform him into Dexter's most formidable hunter yet. Unlike Batista, who spent much of his career as a natural leader and diplomat, Quinn is rougher around the edges. He's the kind of cop who will chase a lead into the ground until he gets results. Now picture the moment Quinn and Batista cross paths again, either in New York or through a desperate phone call before things go south. If Batista told Quinn outright that Dexter was the butcher, this time Quinn would have every reason to believe him. He's older now, wiser, and less willing to dismiss those kinds of warnings as paranoia. And with Batista's cryptic retirement message still echoing in his mind, when it all goes down, trust me, you'll understand, Quinn could suddenly connect all the dots. Batista's death or disappearance would no longer feel random. It would feel like confirmation. And when a cop like Joey Quinn believes he's staring at the truth, nothing short of the grave is going to stop him. The terrifying part for Dexter isn't just Quinn's potential suspicion, it's Quinn's growth. He's no longer the impulsive detective who could be distracted by personal vices or office politics. As a lieutenant, he's learned how to be methodical, how to play the long game, and how to leverage the system to his advantage. That experience, combined with his no-nonsense attitude, makes him smarter and more efficient than ever before. Dexter was able to evade Batista for so long, partly because Batista, until recently, played by the book. Quinn wouldn't necessarily do that. If he felt the law wasn't moving fast enough, he'd push it. If he needed to bend a rule to nail Dexter, he wouldn't hesitate. That unpredictability makes him a far scarier adversary than Batista ever was. Now, if this theory holds and Quinn is being positioned as the successor to Batista's mission, then Dexter's greatest threat isn't some new face or a fresh detective. It's a familiar ghost from his past. A man who once suspected him, who now has the rank and experience to act on it, and who may finally connect all the dots that were dangling in front of him years ago. In that sense, Joey Quinn stepping into Batista's shoes isn't just poetic. It's the perfect nightmare scenario for Dexter Morgan. If you enjoyed this video and would like ad-free early access content, please go check out my Patreon to see what interests you. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and leave your thoughts and theories in the comments down below. Lastly, join the Discord to discuss all your favorite pieces of media. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.